You clicked because you saw healthy foods and muscle loss in the same sentence, and I know exactly what you're thinking. There's no way the foods my doctor recommended are hurting me. Here's the uncomfortable truth. After working with over 2,000 seniors on nutrition and muscle preservation, I have watched the same pattern repeat hundreds of times. Good people eating good foods, losing muscle anyway. Not because these foods are toxic, but because of when you eat them, how you combine them, and what they replace in your diet. Today, I'm going to expose 5 specific foods that nutrition experts praise constantly. Foods you probably ate this morning. Foods that are silently blocking protein absorption, suppressing muscle protein synthesis, and accelerating sarcopenia. That's the medical term for age-related muscle wasting. I will show you exactly why each one causes problems after age 50, and more importantly, I'll give you the simple modifications that let you keep eating them without sacrificing your strength. But here's what caught me off guard when researching this video. The 5th food on this list is literally the symbol of healthy eating. Gyms put it on posters. Doctors recommend it daily. And it might be the worst muscle thief of all. Stay with me. Let me start with something millions of seniors consume every single day, thinking they're doing their body a favor. Tea. Green tea for antioxidants. Black tea for heart health. Herbal tea for relaxation. The research on tea is genuinely impressive. So what is the problem? Timing. Tea contains compounds called tannins and polyphenols. These are the same antioxidants that make tea healthy. But here's what the health articles do not mention. These compounds bind to protein and iron in your digestive system. They form complexes that your body cannot absorb efficiently. One study found that drinking tea with a meal reduced iron absorption by up to 60%. Other research shows tannins can reduce protein digestibility by interfering with digestive enzymes. So picture this. You wake up, you make eggs and toast for breakfast. 20 grams of protein. Good start. Then you drink 2 cups of black tea with your meal. Those tannins wrap around the amino acids from your eggs. They block the enzymes trying to break down that protein. Instead of absorbing 20 grams, you might only get 14 or 15. Day after day, year after year, you're leaving protein on the table, literally. I remember talking to a retired professor named Harold. 3 cups of green tea with every meal. He thought he was preventing cancer and heart disease. Meanwhile, he couldn't understand why he kept losing grip strength despite doing hand exercises. We changed nothing about his diet, except one thing. He moved his tea consumption to between meals, at least 1 hour after eating. Within 3 months, his grip strength tests improved. Same diet, same exercise, different timing. The application here is straightforward. Keep drinking tea, just separate it from your protein-rich meals. Drink it mid-morning, drink it mid-afternoon. Drink it before bed if it's herbal, but not within an hour of your eggs, chicken, fish, or any meal where protein absorption matters. The frame is this. Tea is medicine, but like all medicine, dose and timing determine whether it helps or harms. You wouldn't take a medication that blocks nutrient absorption right when you eat. Don't do it with tea either. Now, if tea blocking your protein surprised you, wait until you hear about the breakfast staple that has been fooling families for 3 generations straight. Food number 2, plain oatmeal. I grew up eating oatmeal. My parents ate oatmeal. My grandparents swore by oatmeal. It's warm, it's comforting, it's supposedly heart healthy, and when eaten plain, it's a protein wasteland. 1 cup of cooked oatmeal contains about 5 grams of protein. Your muscles need a minimum of 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal to trigger something called muscle protein synthesis. That's the actual biological process where your body builds and repairs muscle tissue. Below that threshold, the process barely activates. A bowl of plain oatmeal with some berries gives you maybe 7 grams total. That's not breakfast, that's a snack wearing a breakfast costume. But it gets worse. Plain oatmeal is mostly carbohydrates. Carbs spike insulin. Insulin can be anabolic, meaning it helps build muscle, but only when protein is present. Without adequate protein, you just get an insulin spike followed by a blood sugar crash. You feel hungry again by mid-morning. You snack on something probably also low in protein. The cycle continues. I worked with a gentleman named Frank who was religious about his morning oatmeal. Plain oats with a banana and honey. He thought he was being healthy, but by 10 in the morning, he was exhausted. By lunch, he was starving. By evening, he had zero energy for his physical therapy exercises. His physical therapist thought he was lazy. His doctor thought he was depressed. Nobody asked about breakfast. When we rebuilt his oatmeal, everything changed. Same oats, but now with a scoop of protein powder mixed in, plus a tablespoon of nut butter, plus 2 eggs on the side. His energy stabilized, his therapy sessions improved, his muscle measurements started going up instead of down. The application here is straightforward. Never eat plain oatmeal as a complete meal. Always add protein. Greek yogurt stirred in works great. Egg whites mixed in while cooking is invisible and adds 12 grams. Cottage cheese on top is an easy 15. Protein powder blended in is convenient. The frame matters here. Oatmeal is a vehicle, not a destination. It's a base for building a real meal. By itself, it's nutritional poverty dressed up as virtue. Make it work for you by adding what your muscles actually need. Speaking of things dressed up as healthy, the next food on this list has fooled more seniors than any marketing campaign in history, and I guarantee it's sitting in your refrigerator right now. Food number 3, almond milk. Almond milk has become the default healthy choice. Lactose intolerant? Almond milk. Watching calories? Almond milk. Want to feel virtuous at the coffee shop? Gym milk or almond milk? The marketing is brilliant. Pictures of almonds, words like natural and plant-based, promises of fewer calories than dairy. Here's the reality check. 1 cup of almond milk contains about 1 gram of protein. 1 gram. 1 cup of regular dairy milk contains 8 grams. That's an 800% difference. Let me frame this in terms of muscle impact. You switched from dairy to almond milk because you thought it was healthier. Now, let's say you use milk twice a day, in your morning coffee, in your oatmeal. With dairy, that was 16 grams before you even started your actual meals. With almond milk, it dropped to 2 grams. You just erased 14 grams of protein from your daily intake. For a senior trying to hit 90 to 100 grams of protein per day, that's a significant loss from a single swap. I consulted with a couple in their late 60s. Both switched to almond milk 3 years ago. Both experienced slow but steady strength decline. They blamed aging. They blamed genetics. They blamed not exercising enough. Nobody asked about breakfast. When we rebuilt their oatmeal, everything changed. Same oats, but now with a scoop of protein powder mixed in, plus a tablespoon of nut butter, plus 2 eggs on the side. His energy stabilized. His therapy sessions improved. His muscle measurements started going up instead of down. The application here is straightforward. Keep drinking almond milk. Just add protein to compensate. Blend in a scoop of protein powder. Add Greek yogurt to your breakfast. Eat an extra egg. Make the choice intentionally, not accidentally. The frame is about honesty. Almond milk is flavored water with vitamins added. That's not an insult. That's just the nutritional reality. If you treat it as a protein source, you'll be disappointed. If you treat it as a low-calorie liquid that tastes nice, you'll be accurate.
Now here's where this list gets personal for anyone who has ever tried to lose weight. Because the next food has been the go-to dinner for dieters for decades, and it is silently destroying muscle while you sleep. Food number 4, clear vegetable soup. Clear vegetable soup. Broth with floating vegetables. Low calorie, warm, filling. Recommended by nearly every diet program ever created. Here's the context. Clear vegetable soup is mostly water. A full bowl might have 50 to 80 calories, maybe 2 to 3 grams of protein, and it fills your stomach completely. That fullness is exactly the problem. When seniors use clear vegetable soup as a meal, especially dinner, they go to bed having consumed almost no protein when their body is about to enter an 8-hour overnight fast. During sleep, your body does most of its repair work. Muscle protein synthesis peaks during deep sleep, but synthesis requires raw materials, amino acids from protein. If you ate clear soup for dinner, you gave your body nothing to work with. So instead of building muscle overnight, your body does the opposite. It breaks down existing muscle to get the amino acids it needs for essential functions. This is called muscle protein breakdown, and it happens every single night you go to bed protein deprived. I remember visiting a weight loss clinic years ago. Their dinner recommendation for seniors trying to lose weight was clear vegetable soup and a side salad. I asked about protein. They said the morning eggs would cover it. That is like saying you will fill your car with gas on Monday to cover your driving on Friday. The math does not work, and the muscle loss in their clients was visible. One woman named Patricia had been on their program for 8 months. She lost 30 pounds. 20 of those pounds were muscle. She looked smaller but weaker. She was thinner but more fragile. That is not health. That is accelerated aging with a smile. The application here is non-negotiable. If you like vegetable soup, great. Add protein to it. Drop shredded chicken into the broth. Add white beans or lentils. Crack an egg into the hot soup and let it poach. Stir in some tofu cubes. Transform it from a snack into a real dinner. The frame is harsh but necessary. Clear vegetable soup is not dinner. It is an appetizer at best. Eating it alone and calling it a meal is nutritional self-sabotage disguised as discipline. But everything I just told you about soup pales in comparison to what comes next. Because food number 5 is the most protected health food in existence. Doctors recommend it. Nutritionists worship it. Fitness magazines put it on every cover. And for seniors trying to maintain muscle, it might be the biggest trap of all. I saved this one for last because I knew it would make people angry. Large, raw salads. The untouchable symbol of healthy eating. Let me be very clear about what I am saying. A large salad is not inherently bad. A large salad as a meal replacement is a muscle disaster. Let me explain the mechanism. When you sit down to a massive bowl of lettuce, spinach, cucumbers, tomatoes, and maybe some shredded carrots, you feel incredibly full. Your stomach stretches. Fiber sends satiety signals to your brain. You push back from the table completely satisfied. But here's what actually happened inside your body. You consumed maybe 8 to 12 grams of protein from that entire bowl. Remember the threshold. 25 to 30 grams minimum to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Below that, the muscle building process barely activates. So you ate a huge meal, you felt stuffed, and your muscles got almost nothing useful. Now multiply that by lunch every single day for years. You are consistently underfueling the very tissue that keeps you mobile, independent, and alive. Here's a story that still frustrates me to this day. I worked with a 72-year-old woman named Dorothy. She was doing everything right according to mainstream advice. Big salads for lunch every day, light dinners, lots of vegetables. She came to me because she could not get up from a low chair without using her arms anymore. Her legs had lost so much strength that basic movements became struggles. When we analyzed her diet, she was eating over 30 servings of vegetables per week. Sounds amazing, right? Any doctor would applaud her, but her average protein per meal was 14 grams, nowhere close to the muscle-building threshold. Her healthy diet was literally starving her muscles of what they needed most. Within 4 months of adding proper protein to every meal, she could stand up from that same chair with no arm assistance. Same vegetables, different protein strategy, completely different outcome. The application is simple but critical. Do not eliminate salads. Add to them strategically. Put 4 ounces of grilled chicken on top. That adds 26 grams of protein. Add a hard-boiled egg or two. That adds 6 to 12 more grams. Throw on some chickpeas, feta cheese, or cottage cheese. Now your salad is a muscle-building meal instead of a muscle-starving one. The dressing doesn't matter nearly as much as the protein sitting on those greens. The frame here is critical for every senior watching this. Volume of food does not equal quality of fuel. Feeling full is not the same as being properly nourished. Your muscles cannot use fiber for repair, no matter how much you eat. They need amino acids, and amino acids come from protein sources, not lettuce. Now let me connect all 5 of these foods together, because individually, each one seems minor. A few grams here, some blocked absorption there. But here's what happens when they stack up in a typical day. You wake up. you have plain oatmeal with almond milk. That's 6 grams of protein total. Mid-morning, you drink green tea. That slightly blocks absorption of whatever protein you manage to get. Lunch is a large raw salad with light dressing. 10 grams of protein if you're lucky. Afternoon tea again, more absorption interference. Dinner is clear vegetable soup because you're watching your weight. 3 grams of protein. Total protein for the entire day? Maybe 25 to 30 grams. You didn't hit a single meal threshold all day. And this pattern continued for years. You lost muscle slowly. So slowly you blamed aging. You blamed genetics. You blamed lack of exercise. But it wasn't any of those things primarily. It was accumulated protein poverty from foods everyone told you were healthy. Every single item I mentioned today is legitimately beneficial, in isolation. Tea has antioxidants. Oatmeal has beta-glucan for cholesterol. Almond milk works for lactose intolerance. Vegetable soup is hydrating and comforting. Salads have fiber and vitamins. None of them are bad foods, but all of them are incomplete from muscle maintenance. And when incomplete foods dominate your diet day after day, your muscles pay the price whether you realize it or not. Here's the good news you've been waiting for. You don't have to stop eating any of these foods. You just have to modify them intelligently. Rule number 1. Every meal needs 25 to 30 grams of protein minimum. No exceptions, no negotiations. If your plate doesn't hit that number, add something until it does. Rule number 2. Separate tea and coffee from protein-rich meals by at least 1 hour in either direction. Drink them between meals, not during meals. Protect your absorption window. Rule number 3. Anytime you eat a plant-based meal like a salad, soup, or oatmeal, add animal or complete protein to it without fail. Chicken, eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, these are your muscle insurance policies. Rule number 4. Stop treating low calorie as automatically healthy. Calories are not your enemy after 60. Protein poverty is your enemy. A higher calorie meal with adequate protein beats a low calorie meal without it every single time for muscle preservation. Rule number 5. Prioritize dinner protein above all other meals. Your overnight fast is when muscle breakdown happens most aggressively. Give your body the raw materials to build and repair instead of breaking down existing tissue for parts. If you follow these 5 rules starting today, you can keep every single one of these foods in your regular rotation. You'll eat the same foods you enjoy, but you'll get completely different results. More muscle, more strength, more independence, more energy, more life. And if you're sitting there feeling guilty about how you've been eating, good. That guilt means you're paying attention. But don't waste that guilt on regret. Channel it into action, starting with your very next meal. Your muscles are waiting for the fuel they've been missing. Here's what you came for and what you actually received. I promised to show you 5 healthy foods that steal muscle from seniors. We covered tea consumed with meals and how it blocks protein absorption. We covered plain oatmeal and its failure to trigger muscle protein synthesis. We covered almond milk and the massive protein gap it creates. We covered clear vegetable soup and how it starves your muscles overnight. And we covered large raw salads and the dangerous illusion of eating healthy while underfueling your body. More importantly, I gave you the exact fix for every single one of these foods. You now know more about protein timing and muscle preservation than most people will learn in their entire lifetime. The question is simple. What will you do with this knowledge? If this video helped you understand something new about your body, hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells the algorithm to show this video to other seniors who desperately need this information. Then subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what comes next. Because next week, I'm releasing a video on the 3 specific exercises that reverse muscle loss fastest after age 60. It's the perfect follow-up to everything you just learned about nutrition. Click the video appearing on your screen right now to keep building your knowledge. Your future self will thank you for staying curious.